Hey guys, today I'm on the campus of Cedarville University. It's our alma mater. My wife Kathy and I. Kathy, say hi.
Hello.
We showed up here in Cedarville, Ohio in the fall of 1987. As freshmen, this is where we went to college and graduated here in 91. Graduated at 10 a.m. on June 1st, 1991. Got married here in town that night. And now we are back 33 years later. They invited us to be guest speakers. I'm going to be speaking at a conference here tomorrow, and so we're going to be sharing some footage about our time here. This event's going to be in a brand new building, the Scharenberg Business and Communication Center. You know, when I went here, I was a communication arts major, and which was, public speaking and also theater and broadcasting, mass communication. Now communication's been moved over to be part of the business school, which I think is probably a more appropriate place for it. And if you don't know, you can see from this banner right here, Cedarville is a Christian college, that they are rooted in Christian principles. And when I went here, I think it's probably still the same, but you took classes in Bible classes. And I got a minor in Bible. But this conference that we're going to be at this weekend is called Impact Conference, and it is for Christian business professionals and kind of the intersection of business excellence and a heart for gospel missions and making a difference in people's lives. So we're excited to be here. We're going to show you some clips. This looks like good sessions for tomorrow morning. I know that guy. All right, I'm here with Derek Green, who was on the speech team with me back at Cedarville College 30 years ago and went on to get a master's degree at Miami University like I did and was the coach of the speech team here for many years. I was so glad to run into him. Got any wisdom to share with the people watching this video, Derek? Tell us about yourself a little bit.
First of all, I have to say that I owe a lot to Jeff. He was a role model for me in seeing that you can go into coaching forensics and that you can help students that way. So he's a role model for me. We're thrilled to be here in the Scharenberg building, thrilled to have him. And just say Cedarville University has a powerful communication program. Storytelling for God's glory, that's our theme. And looking forward to this Impact Conference and everything we're doing here.
So here we are by Cedar Lake. None of these buildings existed when we went to school here. This is Printy Hall, one of the dorms that Kathy lived in when she was like a sophomore.
Yep.
And this is Lawler Hall, where I lived for 4 years. It's a little hard to believe that people still are living here after all of these years. It's so weird to see all of we lived here for 4 years. None of this was here. So when we went to school here, there was only one place on campus really to get food, and that was the dining room. Since then, they've added some food venues. What do you think they might have added at a Christian college? Some fast food. Chick-fil-A. Little Christian chicken. Perfect. Behind us, this was a building they were building when we were here. It's one of the older buildings now. But it's where they have science and engineering and nursing. They had a contest to name it when we were in school here, and I proposed the Nursing, Engineering, Research, Development, and Science Building, which I thought was a great name. That was not the one they chose. So this is the rock that people paint. Someone paints it something different every day. As legend goes, if you dug down in there, it's a pretty small rock that is now covered with thousands of layers of paint. All right, change has definitely hit if they have a panda on campus. Could it be? Is there a disc golf course on campus? Wow. At the VIP dinner. You know, if you ever get a job working in sales, here's how they train people to sell products. At pretty much every company I've learned, here's how they do it. Learn as much as you can about the products. Go out and talk to customers about them. Products, services, here's what our company does. Features, benefits, price, here's how we're better than our competitors. And so off I go, and I'm calling on these customers. I worked in the food service segment of the food industry. So I was selling not soup by the can, but by the truckload to Cisco and US Foods and Gordon Food Service. And you know what? I was not good at it. But I was going around convincing people, trying to persuade them. I go into a customer and I'm like, what do I need to say to get them to buy some of my products so I don't lose my job? That was my strategy. And I felt really bad about myself. And you know what I've learned now that I've worked with hundreds of companies and millions of salespeople, is that most people that work in sales, that's how they feel. They don't like who they see in the mirror. They don't feel good about what they're doing. And I got to the end of my rope. I was very, very frustrated. So I just got a book on selling skills. And I read it. And I go, there's some ideas in here I never thought of. So I went and got another one, and I read it. Just random, Barnes & Noble, taking books off the shelf. And I read that one. Boy, that's some ideas in there. That year, I didn't watch TV for a whole year. I read books on selling. I read about 50 books on selling skills. Some of them were better than others, but in all of them, I pulled out a few little nuggets, and I totally reinvented how I went about working, which changed my work life, changed my family life, changed my whole life. Thinking differently about what sales is. I started having different kinds of conversations with customers. I started learning how I could really add value to the lives of other people. I started selling a lot more. I started selling 5 times more with 1/3 the hours at work. Sometimes I say this to a room full of salespeople, commissioned salespeople. And I'm like, I sold 5 times more with 1/3 the sales calls. And you can see them looking at me like, I don't know if I believe that, but I don't know if I can afford to ignore this information either. My coworkers would say, how do you sell so much? You don't hardly do any work. And I'm like, I know. That's the goal. The goal is not to be the hardest working person. There's no trophy for that. You know where that leads? Divorce court. I want to go to work, get the most done I can, and then go spend time with my family. For me, that's winning. Ended up leaving there, and now I do speaking and training all around the country. A lot of times doing selling skills training for sales organizations and big companies. I was just out of California working with Dole Pineapple Company and all of their salespeople. Did a thing last year for the insurance, bunch of insurance adjusters who didn't really know much about. I had to teach them this stuff. Really, my specialty is the people side of the business world, right? I do selling, but also communication, attitude, teamwork, customer service, how to have less stress. I do a seminar on dealing with difficult people that's called, I Think I'm Allergic to Nuts. Learning how to work productively with people who drive you crazy. And people show up in droves to hear that one. The real shift in my mindset, what I'm going to recommend to you, is that you learn what sales even is. Most people think selling is persuading, convincing, talking someone into something, twisting their arm, manipulating if you have to, right? But sales is presenting, it's convincing, and your success in sales is connected to your persuasiveness. That's where I lived for years, and not only did it not work very well, but I hated it. And I think anyone who's a decent person would hate that lifestyle. Convincing, persuading, tricking. That's not what sales is. What I've come to learn is that sales is a process of partnering with a customer to help them reach their goals or get what they want. That became my strategy. Hey, whatever kind of customer you are, whatever kind of business, restaurant chains, stadiums, factory, you know what? I'm going to come in, I'm going to figure out what you do, how you do it, who you do it with. We're going to figure out a way that I can help you do it better. And my sales went up and up and up and up. I felt great about what I was doing. I was getting way better results, spending more time at home, sleeping better at night. And I've come to learn that that mindset of being a consultant, being a server, is so much more rewarding, right? Because your effectiveness when you're thinking this way has less to do with your persuasiveness and has more to do with your trustworthiness. I'm going to share one idea with you to think about. To know the difference between needs and wants. One of the books I read that first year of studying was a book called Think Like Your Customer. One line in that book that got my wheels turning, which has been my experience on how books work. That's how sermons work. I don't remember all of it, but man, he said one thing. It got me thinking. Here's what he said. Customers buy what they need so they can get what they want. So somebody might need eco-friendly products, but why do they want that? Maybe they're trying to save the planet. Maybe their boss is on their back about that. Maybe their company is wanting to promote their green initiative to their customers. But why they want something is way more powerful when you're trying to sell to them than what they need. Maybe someone needs life insurance. What's the want behind that? Security for my family. Maybe somebody needs a babysitter, but what they want is a peaceful night out for them and their spouse. And people will pay a lot more for a peaceful night out, which is priceless, than they will for babysitting services, which is a commodity. Can anyone tell me the difference between 2 and 4? 2, incorrect. Other guesses? Sometimes people say square root. No. Double. No. I asked one group, they said, well, 4 is made out of straight lines and a 2 is made out of curved lines. I go, oh, that's creative. That's not the answer. Here's the answer. When an ordinary salesperson, business professional, believer comes into someone's life and starts talking to them, something is happening to them. 2 and 4 in my question aren't numbers, they're prepositions. When an effective salesperson, business leader, believer gets involved in someone's life and starts speaking with them, something isn't happening to them, it's happening for them. The difference between 2 and 4, it's all the difference in the world. I do a lot of training in the restaurant industry, and it's the difference between service and hospitality. It's aligning your heart and your mind so that people know you're on their side. And I'm here for you. Did my sessions this morning. Checking out the campus. Beautiful campus, especially in the fall. This is where Collins Hall used to be, home of the communication department. It is gone. It's just grassy field. It's bizarre. Founders Hall. I think this was the first building here. Something that's changed since I was a college student. Nobody was skateboarding back then. So these are my people, the Department of Communication. Storytelling for God's glory. Love it.
Something changed in the mentality towards business about that time. All this started to emerge in this time.
Book signing. All right, that does it for us in Cedarville, Ohio. Behind me is Grace Baptist Church, where my wife Kathy and I got married. We graduated from college here at 10 a.m. on June 1st, 1991, and we got married here at 7 o'clock that night. So many memories in this town. Behind me over here now is Colonial Pizza, where we had lunch that day that we got married. So many great memories. What a great conference. We had just a super great time here at this conference. Left very encouraged and inspired. Got a chance to connect with tons of people. Booked a few speaking events coming out of this. Going to be on a college students podcast. They asked me to do that for them. And just super cool day. Excited they're having another one next year. If you happen to be a Christian business professional, this Impact Conference at Cedarville University is pretty powerful. So over and out from Cedarville, Ohio. We'll catch you next time.